Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions, your weekly dose of what's brewing in the commodity space. I am Manisha Gupta. Well, if there was one sector which has been hit the hardest by the government's demonetisation drive, it is agriculture. The main reason why farmers are struggling is because this is the start of Rabi season. The centre has made a few announcements to ease the pain. The farmers can now withdraw 25,000 rupees per week against their loans. The wholesale traders registered with the APMC can withdraw 50,000 rupees per week. The payment of crop insurance premium has been extended by 15 days as well. This is after 2 drought years that agriculture was looking at strong numbers, but the severe stress consumption pattern that has been seen now in the last 1 week has limited the access to cash. The farmers, remember, either take their resources by credit or are being forced by the shopkeepers and vendors and are made to produce or sell their produce by half the value. The farmers also are under pressure because cash is the mode of payment for transport, labor, seeds, pesticides, and the Mandi estimates suggest that the wholesale markets are seeing their business drop by nearly 30 to 50%. Joining us now is Dr. Ramesh Chand, member of Niti Aayog. Dr. Chand, hi, thank you so much for joining us. What is your sense that you are getting in? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of feedback. You know what the government is doing. While they are sensitive to day-to-day issues, but the problem still is quite strong when you go to the rural areas or the farmers.
Yeah, Manisha, as you mentioned in the beginning, there are two aspects of agriculture which we should see how they are affected by this demonetization. One is production, another of course is marketing. I got the latest figure from Ministry of Agriculture which shows that as on 17th till yesterday, 2/3 of sowing of oilseed has been completed. 53% of sowing of pulses has been completed. In case of wheat, it is only 1/4. And if we look at the total of all these crops, then 38% of area already sowing has been completed. So that is the scenario of sowing. And farmer required credit mainly for 2-3 things. One is fertilizer, second is seed, and third is of course labor. In this point of time, as far as seed is concerned, I don't see that there will be any serious adverse effect.
Okay.
Because in case of Rabi season crops, particularly wheat, pulses, they are not hybrid crops. And if you look at the seed replacement rate, it is not more than 30%. So more than 70% of the seed used in these crops is home produced. Farmer use his own seed for sowing. So as far as, and also if he is to buy seed from say some research institutes or private sources, so they normally arrange that say in advance. It's not that you buy seed today and you bring it to the field.
No, your point is well taken, Dr. Chand.
Second dimension.
Yeah. Your point is well taken, sir. But you know, the immediate payments of the loading guys, the labor guys, all of that happens on a weekly or a fortnightly basis, and not too many people are very close to the banks when it comes to rural areas. Would you say that that is an issue that the people could be tackling?
No, certainly there is some difficulty. It is not that I am not ruling it out completely. But I am saying is that agriculture activity as it is being made out, you said in the beginning that there will be drastic impact. I feel there is nothing like that. There is some impact, and that impact to my understanding is small, which can be made up subsequently. You see, in case of this payment to labor, in case of purchase of fertilizer, in rural area, most of the transaction can happen on promise, can happen on credit. So you also know so many studies come that farmers are buying inputs, they take credit, they are paying exorbitant interest rates. So it's not that if a farmer requires fertilizer, not that all of them will be required to make payment in cash to the dealers.
Sure.
They know each other for long, and I also spoke to some of the farmers. They told me that yes, that trust is there, and in some cases, of course, particularly marginal farmer, very small farmer, who buy small quantity, traders don't accommodate them. But other categories who are their regular customers, they will be giving them fertilizer, or even if they are buying some seed from them on credit basis for to accept cash payment, say after 15 days or 1 month when situation eases.
Sure. So what you're saying is that perhaps the harvesting and the Rabi crop sowing is not so impacted. It perhaps is the day-to-day business which may have seen a bit of a decline coming in. And would you say that that too is perhaps a very near-term phenomena?
No, I would say that in case of perishables, vegetables, you see, where you can't store it, you have to bring it to the mandis, and there were issues in the mandi, and prices have certainly fallen. I am not saying that prices have not fallen, but as far as the major crops are concerned, say wheat, pulses, oil seeds of Kharif season, most of those have already been sold. Some of those which have not been sold, farmer can wait for some days. Okay, we will take these to the market only when this difficulty is addressed. But of course, in the case of vegetable, once they mature, you can't keep them in the field for a long time. You have to bring those, and there were issues in the first, I think, 1 week related to cash with the traders. That's why you find a lower arrival in the market, and also in the market that price is low. So marketing of vegetables and fruit to some extent, their price certainly is depressed, and farmer will be affected to that extent.
Your point is well taken, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So that is the view coming in from Dr. Ramesh Chand, that the major Rabi season sowing has been, of course, on the higher side, as he pointed out, and that really is not getting impacted. It perhaps is the day-to-day thing, and the perishable market, which is seeming to get more impacted by this demonetization. But that, of course, is a very near-term phenomena as well. And among the other sectors that has been hit worst by the demonetization drive has been the jewelry space, with the jewelry stores finding no takers ever since the cash crunch hit. And joining us to talk more about that, of course, is Mr. Surendra Mehta, Secretary at India Bullion and Jewellers Association. Mr. Mehta, hi, good to have you. It has been so many stories that have done rounds since the demonetization actually came. First, of course, was the kind of heavy sales of jewelry that people were trying to buy into because of they wanted to convert that money, and then of course a complete standstill is what we are looking at right now.
See, Manisha, we need to understand one thing. There are about 6 lakh jewelers in the country. What has happened on the night of 8th and 9th, we need to understand that these were all not 6 lakh jewelers, but these numbers were restricted to about, say, 600 to 1,000 jewelers in the country. These jewelers overnight tried to become the money changer, and they are damaging the reputation of the entire jewelry sector. So the entire jewelry sector also demand that the night by flyer money changers must be punished by the government. So it's for the government that they should go after those money changers and, you know, take all the accounts from them. I think the excise authorities have already issued notices to those money changers also.
So what kind of details are being asked from by the excise department at this point in time? We understand that they're asking jewelers to give them the buy, purchase, sale, inventory and quantity and the price of sale as well. And of course, these accounts would then be, checked by the banks. Is what we understand. What have you seen into this?
Yes, about 600 jewelers in the country have received the notices from the excise authority. And the details asked are right from 7th of November till 11th of November. And as you rightly said, it is they are asking for receipt and issues, purchase and sales in that period, including the quantity sold, quantity purchased, and the price at which this transaction took place.
What's your sense then, Mr. Mehta? Going forward from here, how do you look at the jewelry sector, the way the government has come hard on the black money and the demonetization, and with gold, it really hasn't been their favorite subject in any case?
No, we just heard from the Niti Aayog that, you know, even the farmers are affected. We are in the luxury segment, and I think the Prime Minister made it very clear on the first day itself that there will be problem for few days. Being a luxury sector, we are going to be affected first and recovered last. So I do not find that this problem has been already informed to us, and it's being well taken. It is in the country's interest. The Prime Minister has taken this decision, and the jewellery sector welcomed the step taken by the Prime Minister.
So what is the preparedness of the industry right now?
See, as of now, if you look at the last year data, our total import in the last year was about 700 ton. Now, till September this year, only 200 tons import, 220 tons import have been done. Now, already there has been reduction in the import, and it clearly means that there is reduction in the sale. The sales have been picking up since the festive season started. But okay, the jewelers have to live with it, because it is in the interest of the nation that currency demonetization has been done.
Mr. Mehta,
they are not taking any call as of now.
Okay.
It's more like wait and watch situation.
How would you describe 2016 as a year for the jewellery, as an industry? Because we started on a very dim note, and that is how we seem to be ending as well, from excise duty to those protests, and of course high import duty continues, and now this.
We have already suggested to the government that these fly-by-night operators who are money changers, they do this because there is a VAT rate in most of the state is only 1%. And if the rate is converted at a higher rate, if the GST is made at a higher rate, to claim the set-off for the imported material, for the import of bullion, they will have to prepare the bills, and they can't escape. So there will be no black money transaction or money laundered transaction through the jewellery business.
That is good to hear.
I'm advocating for higher GST and lower custom duty.
That is good to hear too, Mr. Mehta. Thank you so much for coming by and making sense of all of that sector. Of course, it has been quite hard hit, as we have seen in the recent days. We've seen the jewellery stocks also tumble in last couple of sessions, but it's good to know that the jewellery sector has been prepared for that and is looking for those GST numbers to pass by as well. But with that, it's time for a quick break now. Up next, we discuss whether the Trump rally is beginning to lose steam. Stay tuned.